Creatures of the night, it's your girl Tati. Let's talk about Ring of Honor. We actually start the show off with a Proving Grounds match for the world title. I was kind of surprised because I felt like that's more of a main event type of vibe. And it was even more surprising to see that it was Gringo Loco going for the world title. Now, I love Gringo Loco. I have no problem with this. However, 2 weeks ago, Gringo Loco literally was in a Proving Grounds match with Nick Wayne for the TV title. And if he couldn't beat Nick Wayne for the TV title, what makes anyone think that he's going to take it up a hell of a lot more notches to go against Bandito for the world title? So for me, I feel like it should have been switched in terms of he should have gone for the world title in the Proving Grounds match, and he could have lost that and was going to have to humble himself and go down the ladder to the TV title. And I think that would have been a little bit more believable with what they're doing with Gringo Loco at this point. This was a pretty cool match where it was a great opener for the show. Bandito, I am absolutely happy that he's being featured on the show. To be honest with you, he wasn't really featured like that when he won the title. But since he's been getting a little bit more TV time consistently, I think on AEW TV, we're seeing him a little bit more on Ring of Honor. I don't know what that's about, but okay. And he's been having consistently really great matches, regardless if it's on Ring of Honor or on AEW TV. Our boy Bandito ends up taking the win, and I thought this was a great match, but unfortunately Gringo Loco fell short. I hope we do get a chance to see him again, and this time not in a Proving Grounds match for another title, like the Pure title. I don't think it's going to work out for him either. Now after this, we do have Jay Lethal and Satnam Singh along with Karen Jarrett. I just feel like every once in a while they bring these people back together and try to make something work, and it's just like, I don't know who's interested. Now, I don't mind seeing Jay, but Satnam and Karen, I don't know if anybody has that on their bingo card. They're going against local talent. Personally, this did nothing for me, and I am okay if they're trying to have like another team around in terms of helping along with the tag division, but I don't know how much success they will actually have as a team. Satnam is like built like a monster or whatnot, but I wouldn't even be scared of him. I don't think children would be scared of Satnam. So something about it is just not hitting for me. Since it is local talent, Jay and Satnam ends up taking a win in a squash situation, and honestly, I'm not feeling it at all. Now after this, we do have our falling goddess, our minion overlord, Athena, teaming up with Billy Starks to go against local talent. Less on the squash side, but at least we get a chance to see Athena actually being on the show. I am so happy to see her on the main roster, but I do feel like they've neglected her actually being on Ring of Honor. And lately, since we've been seeing her, other than the pay-per-view they had a couple of weeks ago, it's tag situations with Billy Starks. And honestly, I don't know how people may feel about that, because for a really long time, people have been tuning into Ring of Honor simply because of her. So I don't know if we'll be able to see less and less of her. We'll find out where things are going to go depending on the results at Forbidden Door, since she's giving up her little contract. She cashed in on it for her Forbidden Door match with Toni Storm. The girls end up taking the win, both hitting submissions at the same time, and their opponents end up tapping. I don't know who was even legal at that point, but it don't matter because they both tapped at the same time. Now, we do get on commentary, they're talking about Dustin. So they showed like a little video of him winning the TNT title and how he lost it against Kyle Fletcher, and how they have an update on his health in terms of him needing to have double surgery on his knee, and it's not looking good. Now, they do end up mentioning the state of the Ring of Honor tag division, and I was just like, oh, so now y'all mentioning it a year after they've done nothing, now that he's injured and gonna have surgeries and shit like that, now y'all mentioning it. Now, when they mention this, they also do end up saying how they know that Dustin, he keeps stepping like you always say, and that he's going to make a speedy recovery and he'll be back in the ring. And I was like, so you saying this as in what, they keeping the titles, or are they going to vacate these titles? Honestly, best case scenario is for them to vacate both the six-man tag and the tag titles, because honestly they really haven't done anything. And Tony Khan has already said, like, within AEW, and I'm sure that counts for Ring of Honor as well. No, they've done it for Ring of Honor as well. If a partner is injured, they have to vacate. There's no free bird rule, so they're going to have to do that. Or maybe they'll just be like, you know what, let's just like not do anything with the titles like we've been doing all year anyway, and just act like they don't exist. So hopefully we'll get some type of update in terms of what they're going to do with the title, since we do have a pay-per-view later on this month. Now, we did hear from our boys, Blake and Lee Johnson, who mentions the tag titles. And for me, it made me feel like, okay, so we're going to see them later on. So they're going to be in the main event. And I kind of felt a little bit relief when they were talking about the tag titles, because I was like, okay, so we've already acknowledged that Dustin is hurt. He probably won't be coming back anytime soon. And for them to mention it later on, knowing that there's only one person holding that title, made me feel a little bit better about them actually putting it on the line. We'll talk about how their main event went in a moment. Now after this, we have CMLL in the house, Volador Jr. teaming up with Magnus and Brujito to go against the Dark Order. Alright, we have finally got to the point, aside from the pay-per-view, where all these months since the beginning of this year, when we've been seeing CMLL wrestlers coming on the show, they have consistently only gone against other CMLL wrestlers. So I was surprised to see that they were actually going against Ring of Honor wrestlers this time. Now, we've been having somewhat of we've had a story with Dark Order and Frat House that's been going on. And since the pay-per-view, the Dark Order have been saying how they're going to be taking over. They're going to be not only the best trios, the best tag team, and even singles wrestlers within the company. Now, that could possibly be true if they can actually win something. I was very surprised to see CMLL wrestlers take the win. And the only reason why I was surprised was because I thought we were doing something with the Dark Order. That's the only reason. I don't really know if we're going to continue to do something with CMLL and, Ring of Honor wrestlers, where we can take it to the next pay-per-view, or perhaps even maybe Forbidden Door. But I still feel like we haven't really done anything to push any teams to direction of possibly getting titles. Dark Order talking about titles, but never truly getting opportunities to be anywhere close to a damn title is absolutely insane to me. This was a really great match, and I think people are watching Dark Order. They feel the entertainment. They enjoying what they're seeing in the ring, and they actually have improved. But if they can get a win where it actually counts, that would be really nice. So now, I forgot to mention this in the last review, because honestly this didn't really feel like shit to me. But QT Marshall and what's his name? Paul Walter something. He's been on the show before. Y'all know who I'm talking about. He's been on AEW. He's had a match there before. He's been on Ring of Honor, whatever. Months back, I forgot what pay-per-view it was. Maybe Revolution or something like that. He was doing like the pre-show, and QT got into him during the pre-show and threw a drink with something in the cup, and he was a little upset about it, but then he realized that it was liquor that he threw at him, and he's been sober for what he said 2-3 years, whatever it is. Congrats. And he was really upset about that, because he was like, someone like me who's been sober only for a few years, and that might, come and ruin my sobriety, blah, 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 blah. And I was just like, all right, we're making something out of nothing. Okay, cool. So apparently Paul has been going on to podcasts and things like that, talking about this non-existent feud with QT or whatever, and now we picking up on it. I'm talking about some shit that happened earlier this year that everybody forgot about, and they're bringing it back up. And this is the second time that they've actually brought it up, because they brought it up a few months ago and just forgot about it because the pay-per-view got pushed to All In Weekend. So now we're bringing it back up, whatever. And it looks like we're going to get things in terms of them having a match maybe for the next pay-per-view, because next week we're going to have like some kind of sit-down talk with them. I don't know. We're not getting JR to get in any of that shit with them in like some kind of sit-down interview. We can get somebody else who's not doing anything, like, I don't know, RJ City or Renee Paquette, somebody. I don't know. I don't think people are that interested in seeing what they might give in terms of a match, but who knows? Could be match of the night. Now, our main event, Blake Christian teaming up with Lee Johnson. And I was just like, oh, I'm happy to see them. Who they going against? Sky Team, which is Mystico and Mascara Dorada. Oh my God. I was just like, you know what? I might as well turn the shit off right now because we know where it's going. If Mystico is on somebody's team, or if he's on there by himself, he's winning. Same thing like with hologram or whatever. Like those are the telltale signs that you know you're winning if one of these people are on your team. And I was immediately disappointed because I mean, personally, I don't necessarily always watch as a fan. I kind of look at the show in terms of what makes sense booking this. Because, you know, Mystico, Mascara Dorada, they come and go. But what are we doing in terms of building anybody that's actually going to be doing something for this motherfucking brand? So I felt like they could have gotten another tag team to go against them. And I just didn't like that. Now, the match was great and I had no issues with it. But just knowing where it was going, I really do feel like they don't necessarily take the wins into consideration in terms of what that does long term. Like, people are going to look at Sky Team and just be like, oh man, they're the best, everybody loves them, they're baby faces and whatnot. But like, what does this do for actual Ring of Honor wrestlers long term if we're talking about titles? It does nothing. Obviously Sky Team ends up taking the win, but I do feel like we're seeing better in terms of chemistry as a tag team between Blake and Lee Johnson, but we can do a hell of a lot more when it comes to fixing the tag division, because I feel like so much have to get back into just fixing it. The teams are there, and I don't mind them bringing other teams from other promotions to help build that up, but I mean, Sky Team to be the start with these two, I feel like was not a good choice at all. Overall, the show was great, but I will say, like, the main event and the opener definitely, over the whole show I thought was great, but main event really gave you that main event vibe, and it isn't always like that with Ring of Honor. So definitely recommend the main event and the opener. And so far, I feel like the past few weeks the shows have had better vibes. You guys, thanks so much for watching my video. I'll be back on Saturday with Collision and still continue with my coverage on the G1 Climax for New Japan. See you guys then. Bye.